We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Welcome back as we are hanging out with Cliff Jumper. Oh, Cliff Jumper, the master of the Transformers. We are hanging out, getting ready to check out another Transformers toy that just came in. This one is a Walmart exclusive. Legacy Evolution. We got G2 Universe Autobot Jazz. I wasn't even aware that these ones were out at Walmart. Just happened to go there one day and seen this. Unfortunately, as most of the boxes you find in Walmart, they always seem to be crushed and crashed up. But this one is pretty damn interesting. And we are going to have to get this one out of the box. But right before we do, I want to talk ever so briefly about this coloration of Jazz. Now, people may look at this and see, this is kind of odd. Why does it look so odd? Why is he this weird orange color? The reason is because this one is unused artwork. So I actually have the book right here. You can see that Jazz right there, unused artwork. This was stuff that they had planned for the G2 Diaclone cars in the Wave 2. They were just never released. And there's a Mirage right there as well, a Sideswipe, and a bunch of other ones, including one that I seen there in this Grimlock. They actually did have this unreleased G2 Grimlock sitting there as well as a recolor. Pretty interesting stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and get this one out of the box, throw it in some action poses, and see how it fares.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Here we go with G2 Jazz right out of the box. This one is based off an earlier mold, so there was a few problems I noticed right here. Like this arm joint is really loose. And I always hate when they go back to reusing some of these molds and they don't fix some of the problems that these molds develop over time for being reused. Hasbro. Got him in a little bit of a pose right there, showing off all the points of articulation. Of course, there's a nice twist at the top of the thigh right here. Nice joint right there. Single jointed knee. Really good rockers down here at the feet. Of course, you can see there is a waist turn right there. He does have a little bit of head movement with a little bit of rock back and forth. It's not substantial, but there is some there. You can see the nice bicep cup right here. Of course, the arm movement up and around goes really well. There is no hand turn because of the transformation on this guy. Because of all the extra joints that are in this one as part of his transformation, it gives you a little bit more leeway in the knees. So it's technically almost like having a double joint, but it is part of transformation, but it does lead him to be able to get into a really good kneeling position. This one is done very well. The only one that I've seen done better by Transformers as far as some of their newer toys was the Perceptor model. That had amazing articulation all the way through it, but this one comes very close. I just wish they would have paid a little more attention to the degradation of the molds when it came to the arms to make sure that they weren't super sloppy. But overall, an amazing amount of movement on this figure. Because of all the extra movement that are down in the toes, you can actually tuck the toe all the way back. So you're able to get him into a full running position, and he balances all on his own. He does come with a secondary gun right there. You can pour it in, so he's coming in with guns blazing, coming at those Decepticons. Go with Jazz with one of his other accessories. If you remember, the original G1 had that flamethrower attachment that actually sat up on the shoulder. Well, this one looks more like a rocket, and you can't put it on the shoulder. You can port it onto the back of the car windshield and kind of lift it up, but it just looks kind of goofy. I wish they would have just put a port right here so you could put that damn thing on the shoulder like it belonged. Like most of the rest of these Legacy Evolution figures, they do allow for all the gun accessories to kind of port together so you can get some different strange gun configurations to create for your character, to create weapons that really didn't exist before. That is a really cool feature. And here we go in this Martini Porsche mode. It took me a little bit to get some of this stuff ported into place, but once it got ported into place, I gotta say, this one looks very nice. Looks very true to the original version of Jazz. Even the way the feet tuck in the back, I mean, there's this is well done. I really do like this one. I think it was done very well. While there are not enough ports on him to port every weapon at once, unless you want to Evo Fusion, there is a spot on the top, so you can take any one of his weapons and kind of port it onto the top of his roof. I love when they do that. I just wish they actually would have put some ports along the side, so you could actually have all his guns on him at one time. Overall, even with the problems that this one has, the little bit loose shoulder right there, and the inability to port his flamethrower, which should be on his shoulder, I still gotta say, overall, I do like this one. I would still give this one a 9 out of 10. It is still a very solid figure. There are still tons of articulation there. It is always, with Hasbro, sometimes more often than not, it's the finer details that they miss out.
We now return to the Transformers.
Anyway, guys, that is all we have on this one. As with a lot of these re-releases they're doing, they have some good points and then they have some misses. I still think this one is pretty interesting overall. I just wish that they would have hit all the marks like they should have. Anyway, guys, be sure to let Cliff Jumper know what you thought about this one. Later, y'all.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers.